Hey, welcome to WTF, which means what the? Yeah, so there's going to be lots of videos that are WTF, CNS problems, metabolic problems, seizures, which we're going to go over today. There's going to be so many topics, and they're all National Registry geared, so you can take that test and kick its ass, which that's really, at the end of the day, that's all we really want to do, right? So, here's the thing. If I were to ask you, what is a seizure? What would you say? I'm literally waiting for you to answer. Just kidding. Not really. It's an abnormal brain function electrically. That's it. That's the only thing a seizure is. And if you're like me, whether you're no matter what level you're at, when I was first going through EMT school, I read ahead and I looked over medical emergencies and I found seizures and like seizures. I've heard of that. Don't know much about it. I really didn't. The thing is, I thought there's too many consonants in this word. I don't like it. And that's the truth. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was stupid. Turns out it's pretty important. It's a word that you're going to get pressured on. As long as you know, especially especially the big four, which is tonic-clonic, absence, epilepsy, and focal. Those are going to be the big four that you're going to need to know. And that goes from EMT basic, ECA, all the way to paramedic. If you're asked, what is a tonic-clonic seizure? What are you going to say? Well, let's go back a little bit. So you're dispatched to a local Walmart for a seizure, and you get there, and there's a really fat guy, and he's just laying on the ground by cashier number 9. The funny thing is that you see when you walk up and you're assessing this scene and you're trying to figure out what's going on, because there's so many times people have a seizure and then they're dead when you get there. That's a hypoxic seizure, and then they're post-arrest. So you get there and you're assessing, you're trying to figure things out, and you see this person has a wallet sticking out of their mouth. Like, what? Why is there... What? I don't understand. Who put a wallet in this person's mouth? And you ask in a very nice way, does anybody know whose wallet this is before I put it in my pocket and steal your identity? And Billy Bob right there, he says, yeah, so what I did, hell, you think I'm country? This guy was really country. He says, so, this is what I did. He doesn't even touch his lips together when he talks. He says, yeah, that's what I did is I took my wallet and I put it in his mouth, keep him from swallowing his tongue. I didn't want him to swallow it. Thank you, sir. Good job. I would shake your hand, but I don't want to touch you. All due respect. So you take the wallet, throw it to him, because wallets are disgusting, just like cell phones and keyboards and toilet seats, things like that. So what are the biggest seizures that there are? The ones that we just went over. So tonic-clonic. Why makes it tonic-clonic? Well, tonic is just like the word catatonic, muscular rigidity, mental stupor. So tonic-clonic, tonic is the muscular rigidity part, and then the clonic is a relaxation. Absence seizure is when you're like this. You have the 1,000-mile stare. Nobody knows what they're looking at. All you can do is wonder. And that's usually the CNS, metabolic, or endocrine route. There's the partial seizure, when someone is just moving their arm. and they're fully aware of what's going on. I realize now that looked a little awkward. Nothing was going on, just so you know. And then there's epilepsy, which you're diagnosed with usually at an early age, usually before 10. The last one is going to be a bonus seizure that we're going to throw in is Jacksonian March. Jacksonian March is a simple seizure that progresses all the way to a complex. And the thing is, there's so many different words for all these CNS problems, all these seizures. There's ways to simplify them. Simple? Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, you know exactly what that means. That means it's something that's really easy. And then complex, that's going to be a tonic-clonic. So if someone goes from a simple all the way to a tonic-clonic, that's also complex. Tonic-clonic complex. Well, yeah, it's more complex. They're having muscular actual rigidity and then relaxation. So what do you do for these? Well, CABCs, that's the main thing. You want to take care of that. How they get to the ground. Were they in a closet and fell down? Were they in a hot tub and fell down? And were they walking their dog and they fell down? Were they sitting in a chair and then fell out of the chair? You want to take care of that cervical spine. So you throw in a C-collar, and if you have ACLS or ALS capabilities, then you give them benzodiazepines, especially if they're still seizing. And what's that state that they come out and they couldn't identify themselves in a lineup? What is that called? Postictal. So when someone comes out of a seizure and they don't know anything about themselves or anything else or what happened or the preceding events, they're amnestic to everything. So they're amnestic, which means amnesia, which means they don't know what happened before that. It's a really, really interesting thing. And a lot of the times, they might be incontinent, and that is urinary and fecally. So get ready for that. You might have a coat brown. Something to think about. So, WTF on seizures. Quick, dirty, and to the point.